What's going on, y'all? It's your boy Mike. So, just got home from the gym. I was feeling a little tired, but I was still able to do a little something, something. Hit some shoulders. It felt good. And, look around the gym and, it's still, you have a lot of New Year's resolutions coming in and things like that. So I was like, you know what? I'm seeing a lot more younger people, which I enjoy to see. I like to see young people in the gym working out, doing their thing. And that just kind of brought up a question that you hear a lot of times is, how how old do you have to be to start working out in the gym? How old do you have to be to start lifting weights? I've heard that one of the old rumors is that if you start lifting weights too early, it stunts your growth. It's not good for your joints. It's not good for your health if you're too young. Listen, the only thing that's actually going to stunt your growth whenever you're growing is if you actually have damage to the actual growth plates in your body. Lifting weights is not going to stunt your growth. That is a misconception from years and years ago that has been that has been disproven, that has been debunked so many times. It's not even funny. So that rumor is not true, and it's actually healthy for kids to work out. And again, I'm not saying that kids have to deadlift and try to hit PRs. Like, don't, because that's a lot of stress on your body. I will say, trying to hit PRs and things like that. That's not the best thing. However, having a structured program for kids is a good thing. And the only thing, like, there's no age you have to be to start working out. You don't have to, like, people say, oh, you have to be 13 to start working out. Why? Why do you have to be 13 to start working out? Why do you have to be, this particular age? You don't have to be a particular age to start working out. And the thing that I find so funny is that we have Little League baseball, we have Pee Wee football. Football and baseball are a lot more dangerous than lifting weights in a structured manner. If you have unstructured football, unstructured baseball, unstructured weightlifting, they're all dangerous because there's a lot of risk involved with all of them. I'm not saying that, we're like lifting, like football is bad. I'm not saying that at all. I'm not saying that baseball is bad. I'm saying having things in a structured manner. You don't have to be a particular age. Again, you have 4-year-olds playing football in a structured manner. 4-year-olds playing soccer in a structured manner. Granted, it's like, no, they don't know that the whole bunch. So, why have to be 13 to start lifting weights? If you think about it, whenever kids are in PE, I think they still got PE these days. You have kids in PE, you have kids playing football. That's calisthenics. That's lifting weights. The only thing that's different is that you're using your body weight compared to barbells and dumbbells and things like that. You can be 10 years old and start playing with dumbbells. I was actually I was like 9 or 8 when I first started lifting weights, to be honest. Again, was I doing anything super, super serious? No. But I was introduced at a very young age about lifting weights. And that's one thing that kind of just kept me with it. Is lifting weights, starting from such a young age, amongst other things. But again, I was really young when I started lifting weights. Now, another thing that you'll hear is that, oh, like, look at this powerlifter, look at this person. They're really, really short. So they must have, not been able to grow so tall because they were lifting weights. Correlation is not causation. That's something that you hear a lot of times. So just because one thing looks a certain way doesn't mean it is. Again, it's like I can say, oh yeah, it's like I'm just a floating head because that's all you see. All you see is my head. But you don't. But I'm obviously a person. Just because something looks away, it doesn't mean it is away. Correlation is not causation. Now, with certain sports, certain body types do have an advantage. For instance, people who deadlift, having longer arms actually helps you deadlift a little bit better. If someone had typical shorter femurs and longer arms, it's actually a little bit better. They're built a little bit better for deadlifting because they don't have to pull the bar so far. There's less distance to cover, if you will. Whereas if someone has shorter arms, they're actually a little bit better with the bench press because they don't have to move the bar as far. Does that make sense? So correlation is not causation. Just because someone tends to be a little bit shorter doesn't mean that they were short because they started weightlifting. they were a little bit shorter, and then they found the sport or the activity that actually fit their body frame, their body type. And again, for a lot of shorter people, it is weightlifting, it is bodybuilding, it is powerlifting, just because of the range of motion and how much they have to move in that particular time frame, if you will. Because a lot of weighted sports are time based, if you will. It's about moving a weight in a certain distance in a certain time. A lot of times, sometimes it's for speed, sometimes it's just for strength, sometimes it's for power, sometimes it's for explosion. Sometimes it's for building mass. So a lot of strength athletes are moving a certain weight in a particular time speed, and finding the body type and shape for those different activities makes it a little bit more beneficial for certain people. So they kind of gravitate towards different things. Just like if someone they say, oh, you have long fingers, you must play the piano or you must play the guitar. I have long fingers, but I don't play the piano, I don't play the guitar. However, I've heard that it does make it easier to play those instruments if your fingers are a little bit longer. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. So you don't have to be a certain age to lift weights. You don't have to be now. This is up to the parents, because again, I'm not saying because you're this age you have to go to the gym. It's up to the parents. So parents, whatever you feel like is a good age for your kid, whatever you know your kids better. You know how mature they are, what their level of safety, if you will. So if you feel like, oh no, little Johnny is safe enough and intelligent enough to be able to make sure they're being safe in the gym, then take them to the gym. Have them lift weights and have them try everything. Have them try, your traditional body builder exercises. So your dumbbell curls, your bench press, your back squat, your pull ups. If you're experienced with them, have them try some of the Olympic lifting. Whether it is like, okay, I want to teach them how to do a deadlift properly. Deadlift is something that if not done properly, you will snap your back up. So teach them how to deadlift properly if you know how to deadlift. If you want to practice the snatch, teach them how to snatch, or the clean and jerk, or the overhead press. Teach them these things. Again, just do it in a safe manner, because again, you're helping them build healthy habits from a young age, and again, it becomes a part of them. And like if there's something that you've been doing for a long time, it's hard to kick that habit, whether it's a good habit or a bad habit. People who smoke for 20 years, like, oh, I just can't stop. I need my pack a day or whatever it is. It's hard for them to kick that habit. People, again, like me, I've been working out, since I can remember. I've been in the gym for well over 20 years. Lifting relatively heavyweight and heavyweight. And to weight people like, that's a lot of weight. I've put a lot of time in. But again, I started lifting weights when I was like 8 years old. Was I doing a whole lot of stuff? No, I was sitting there doing dumbbell curls, and I was laying on the floor and doing doing dumbbell bench press with laying on the floor, because again, we didn't have a bench when I was younger. So I was doing different things like that with weights. However, I was doing it in a safe, constructive manner, with my dad as my supervisor. And then, going to high school, again, that's when you see a lot more kids starting to find themselves, whether it's through peer pressure, whether it's wanting to play sports, whether it's to impress whoever their interest is. Sometimes people will try to improve their body image, particularly like high school, sometimes like middle school, depends on the person, the maturity, their age, and different things, and pretty much like how fast they develop. But typically, you see a lot more in the high school age kids, that they're like, I'm going to start, I'm starting doing my thing. I'm starting, hitting the gym to, build a little muscle, or to lose a little fat, or to improve myself in this sport, to build up some kind of social status or something of that nature. So you typically see it in high school. And again, that's okay. As long as you're doing it in a constructive manner, that's the most important thing. I've seen kids, there's like this dude who's 14. I'm just like, this dude is jacked. He's in shape. I'm like, yo, whatever you're doing it right. Keep it up. So again, he's a young dude. He's doing a great job. There's these two kids that saw with their dad in the gym. They're probably 9, 10, 11 years old, hitting it hard, relatively hard. But they're in the gym doing something safe in a constructive manner with a supervisor. That's the most important thing. Having a supervisor that knows what they're doing. They're putting in work. So I congratulated the dad and I congratulated the kids. I'm like, hey, y'all are killing it. I see y'all doing your thing. Keep it up. You see that all the time. But you also see people who are in their 30s and 40s who look like they're going to snap every bone in their body because they're doing too much weight. They're doing it too fast. They're all out of proportion. Their joints are this way and that way. They're doing all arching and things where they don't need to be arched. There's no safety. There's no safety measures. So who is safer? The 30 or 40-year-old person who's doing everything completely wrong that's going to snap every bone in their body, or the 10-year-old who's in the gym lifting weights with supervision from a parent or a guardian or an older sibling who knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? If again you have little kids playing football, granted they have shoulder pads and things like that. However, there are a lot of overuse injuries that you're noticing at younger ages because kids are doing very sport specific things. And I remember when I was working on my bachelor's degree, they were talking about the law of specificity versus the importance of diversity. And you can get a lot of overuse injuries if you're doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again. You hear kids like, oh yeah, I've been playing football since Pee Wee football, Pee Wee football, and then we have flag football, and then elementary school, and middle school, and high school, and college. And the overuse injuries are real. Tennis players, there's something called tennis elbow for a reason. You have all these overuse injuries, with people playing your more traditional sports, your basketballs, your footballs, your baseballs, your soccers, things like that. However, it's like we have our kids, playing all these sports and having all these overuse injuries and shin splints and bone spurs and turf toe and all these other things, but you're not allowed to lift weights with good form and proper supervision until you're 13, 14. Why? It makes no sense. The important thing is having supervision, having someone who knows what they're doing in your corner to make sure that you're doing things safe. Now, find the exercise that works the best for you. If you're like, hey, I'm just going to do my traditional bodyweight exercises, do your traditional bodyweight exercises. Do your calisthenics, your pull-ups, your squats, your push-ups, your sit-ups. Do those things. If you're a young kid and you're like, hey, I want to try to learn how to bench press, how to barbell back squat. I want to learn how to do a curl properly. I want to learn how to do lat pull downs properly. I want to learn how to do deadlift properly. Learn those things. Do those things. Find someone that you trust that has at least some experience in the gym that you're like, okay, this is a person that I know that I can rely on that's going to lead me in a good path. So that way I can get the goals that I want. I can build the strength, the size, the motivation, the improve my self-esteem the way I want to. And I know that I'm going to be with someone who has my best interest in mind. You know what I mean? Because it's so important, particularly the typical ages that we know. Like I said, those young kids, the late middle school, early high school kids, they have a lot on their plate. The peer pressure is real. The self-esteem image, the body image is real. The peer pressure is real. Especially with social media. Social media is a great thing, but it can also be extremely, extremely toxic. And if you're not mentally strong and mentally sound enough, you can go down a bad path with social media. And that's another thing that lifting weights teaches you. It teaches you the importance of it's you versus the world. It teaches you, there's a weight and it's heavy. And it's going to be heavy today. It's going to be heavy tomorrow. It's going to be heavy the next day. But eventually that heavy weight becomes lighter, or you get stronger, or things just get easier, or you just get more experience. Because there's something called newbie gains that people are like, oh, I'm gaining so much strength, I'm gaining so much size in this certain amount of time, and they've never worked out. And that's because their body is understanding what you're supposed to do. It's just like if you're new on the job and you're like, I have no clue what I'm supposed to be doing, and it's like, okay, I don't understand this, and this, but in 6 months you're doing the job with your eyes closed. The same thing with people lifting weights. The newbie gains are the person who's brand new into the gym, who's brand new to the job, and they're just trying to figure things out. They don't have that muscle memory yet. They don't know that, okay, no, I have to do this to do this, or I have to do this to do this. The newbie gains, are real. Take advantage of those newbie gains in a safe, constructive environment. But as you gain experience, you're going to get stronger. Your body's going to get used to those motions. And as you start to understand your body, you'll be able to know, okay, I'm in a proper path. I'm doing this thing correctly, or I'm not doing this thing correctly. You start to understand what your body is saying. And again, that just comes with time. And the earlier you start those different things, the more you start to understand your body. So you know that, okay, if I turn this way, I'm safe. If I do it this way, I'm not safe. It's just like running drills in football or basketball. You have to, run those drills. You have to get that muscle memory in to understand, okay, I'm supposed to cut here, I'm supposed to cut here, I'm supposed to dash here, I'm supposed to go under the hoop here, I'm supposed to be at the 3-point line at this time. It's muscle memory. It's understanding, it's your body understanding what it's supposed to do in a particular time in a particular place. It's proprioception. It's your body understanding where you are in space at all times, even with your eyes closed. Because again, it's like my eyes are closed and no, my nose is here, no, my ears are here, no, my eyes are here. It's just knowing where your body is in space. And if you can start that at an earlier age, it's just going to help out so much. Because again, you start to lose those proprioceptive receptors, if you will, as you age. That's why so many people, they miss a step. They go over a curb, things like that. It's their body is kind of forgetting where it is in space, and that's why activity is so important. So don't be afraid to have your kids lift weights. Don't be afraid to have your kids, they want to do traditional bodybuilding exercises. Don't be afraid to have your kids do traditional bodybuilding exercises. If they want to do, powerlifting, or they want to do like some kind of powerlifting, don't be afraid to have your kids do some type of powerlifting exercises in a safe manner. There are certain exercises I typically still would not recommend, particularly because the cost benefit ratio may not be there. Again, deadlift is a very fun exercise. I enjoy deadlifting. I was working on maxing out my deadlift. Like I said, I got to 463 on my deadlift at like 183 pounds. So for people, that's a lot of weight. However, if your form is not there, if your back is not stable, you will snap your stuff up. So deadlift, the cost benefit ratio may not be there 100% for me. Did I enjoy when I was doing it? Yes. Do I deadlift now? No. Do I want to deadlift again? Maybe. We'll see what happens. So if you're going to teach your kids, some particular exercises like deadlifting, like bench press, make sure that you have good supervision. Make sure you have a good trainer to teach them, where their body needs to be in space at all times, and teach them how to bail out. Because unfortunately, you see it all the time. You see, whenever America's Funniest Home Video was a thing, I'm not sure if it still is, but you had like all these exercise in these gym fails, like, oh, this person tripped here, they fell here, they did this. Teach your kids where their body is in space. Teach them how to lift properly, so they're not on the next America's Funniest Home Video clip. You know what I mean? Because we're all about safety and improving what we can do in the gym. We're all about improving our bodies, our mental, our emotional strength. We're all about 1% every day. That's the goal. Improving yourself as much as you can when you can. But don't be afraid to just say, hey, I did a little bit better today than I did yesterday. And that's okay. So, bringing it back, is it okay for kids to lift weights? It's perfectly safe for kids to lift weights if they have proper supervision. Will lifting weights stunt my kids' growth? No, lifting weights will not stunt your kids' growth unless they had direct injury to the growth plates in their body. Is every exercise safe for every kid? No, not every exercise is safe for every kid. You have to weigh out the cost benefit ratio and see what your kid wants to try out, and make sure you have a proper spotter, a proper teacher to teach that exercise. Should every kid lift weight? Yes, every kid should lift weight, wherever that looks like, whether it's body weight, whether it's some kind of iron sport. Teach your kids how to lift weights. Okay? But again, if there's any other questions, comments, concerns, anything else I can kind of help teach you guys, anything else I can help debunk for you guys, let me know. Drop them down in the comments. And again, I appreciate you guys, and that's pretty much it for the day. All right, later.